take shit, I got no love. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Well, that was fun. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. If you can hear me, can you let me know? I'm working on my new microphone still. There's some bullet points that I wanted to address following the video I made. Hello, Hermit Z Frog. How are you today? There was some bullet points that I wanted to cover regarding you're here but you're working. Well, good to see you, Crazy Nurse. I love the name Hermit Z Frog. Anyways, there was a couple bullet points that I was interested in going over following my video that I made that I couldn't sleep over because it just kept replaying in my mind, even with my sleeping meds. And these are just off the top of my head, not even everything that is included. So let's take a little gander at it. And so let me make sure I can blow this up a little bit. See if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. There we go. All right. I love that. I absolutely love it. All right. So, screw red flag Ronnie, even though he does have some red flags or associated with some. These are just the top bullet points that are red flags to, let's just call her S. The red flags I have, number 1, pointing out the seatbelt that Kiely wore when being interviewed, and then having the tow truck driver seatbelt belt on pants question being asked. And then also, it was the only thing that S could remember from that night. That kind of hit me after we heard that, right? Number 2, besides being the last person to be seen, was a phone call 3 minutes after the phone going cold. The last ping at 12:33. And S is pretty firm on her 12:36, and she has not retracted that or made comments on that since. I fully believe That's a big red flag right there too, y'all, right? Now, this one we have to edit. Always made big comments about drinking out of the same containers and ingesting the same things. But I caught a certain verbiage, and it was swapping drinks. That's a little sus to me, and that's definitely vulnerable to anybody, especially in a predatorial. Yeah. And I also think a certain gentleman with N, if you see my previous video, that will show a little bit more as well, because I believe some of it had to do with jealousy. C12 had me pull out the cards last time and do a reading. And so, well, I don't think they shared a drink at all, or else she spiked it and swapped it. The swapped drinks is what caught my attention more so than drinking out of the same containers. I feel as though it could have been very well Kiely drinking the last of it or whatever was in there. Because if she was, I remember back in high school, and many of you do, even with DARE, as soon as you get into high school even, they make you sign a contract for the buddy system, never leave anybody behind. And just to go by, she was extremely intoxicated and I did not want to ride from her. But yet she was a close friend and you left her. Something tells me she didn't leave her. And it's definitely a red flag of swapping of the drinks. That verbiage last night when I was going through my videos. And then the last person to contact Kiely, and admittedly, the last person to contact her and talk to her on the phone via 3 minutes after the phone going cold. That is sus to me. The first big red flag that hit me and made me really starting to look was denial of being found in Prosser, aka her knee-jerk reaction to being found and immediately posted it was false publicly and the family was not notified. Well, in my opinion, if anybody says no and they're adamant that that person was not found, how do you know? That was the main red flag that got me looking into everything and speculating. That definitely landed me in my speculation station. Yeah. Share drinks. Biggest liar from Liarville. I love that girl. Yeah. She definitely was out there and was very public until she deleted that post, and then it kind of went radio silent. Number 6. And this is just what I came up with within 5 minutes the other day at work. And I've been kind of busy because one of my 2-year-old twins, we got admitted into the hospital. Had to race him to the ER, and thank God he's good and back on the mend. But he was, if some of you don't know, he was a preemie and he had to be intubated twice, and he extubated himself at 4 pounds. I had cancer while I was pregnant with the twins. And so even a runny nose or a cough to us is critical for him because it causes stridor, croup, and it closes his airways. So I had to get him to the ER because the only nebulizer that works is like an EpiPen that you inject yourself when you're having an allergic reaction. Instead, his has to be a nebulizer version of an EpiPen. And praise God, he is on the mend. just had to spend the weekend, very expensive weekend stay, and be tortured with the nebulizer and some extra shots because he was spitting out his dexamethasone. He did not want to orally take that, poor guy. Anyways, let me stop scrolling. Another one makes me think of JSB being in the forefront, search and interviews. And what got me was the teen on teen interviews. Why is that? Teen on teen interviews. That does not make sense. Now, if somebody was wired, that'd make a little sense, but we will find out on that one. But if there's foul play and you're assuming teen to teen interviews, yeah, teens are more comfortable talking to other teens, but it's definitely a big red flag because nobody should be talking to the other teens. It should be handled in the official's hands and having the proper body language readers and interviewers assess, even if it was a pediatric interviewer, like they do children. And especially if one of the biggest red flag people that are on my list are one of the interviewers. Maybe 2 of them are, maybe 3 of them are. I know there's multiple, but all the evidence is going into their hands. WTF, y'all. WTF. All right. And then on to the next one. Wanting all information sent to her or Mr. J prior, I forgot to add that one, to the LE so that they can filter and see what is being sent in. Because, again, teens would trust her or other teens. That's, again, could that be considered evidence? Yes. Could it be considering tampering with evidence? Possibly. In my opinion, hell yeah. Because all of the suspects, anybody that was there is a suspect. Like we would handle any other case. And I definitely think that information needs to go to LE first, not be filtered through. Because any information is better than no information, even if they get hit with a bunch. And then there'll be a Hawkins County crying and complaining because it's not firsthand information. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that. And then also on the bar, her Venmo was up there in the pictures that are unedited. The 1 picture, 2 pictures of the tiki bar. And it was written for drinks and also towards their little friendly fight, their little boxing matches or their friendly fights. Now, me growing up, yeah, we used to have boxing matches before football games on Fridays. And it would be friendly little fights. But in no way did we do this at a Rager or at any other woods party. We'd do it before a football game and just box. We'd have a ring. I mean, kids do that. And a lot of people think that's a suspect, but in my experience, nah, we just went out to box. But when it comes to alcohol and drugs involved, that is a little bit different. Because that leads me into the mention of this year, there was 0 argument of who won the fight. But the other years, there's been disagreements. But boastfully said, but not this year. There was no arguments on who won. That hit me to my core, y'all. I don't know about you. Let me know what you think. But that one hit me when there's no arguments this year. Wanting to control the narrative and information that is going in and out. That is controlling all of the meetings, all of the no adults allowed. That is a little too much. I think Ellie really slacked on this, and multiple are. And I'm pretty ashamed hearing Duty Ron, place off the cuff, a lot of respected ex-law enforcement showing how many of the LE and FBI and other agencies dropping the ball, especially when it comes to minors. I'm still trying to figure this out. The Nate C that is currently incarcerated. I am still, there's questions on this, on which Nate Sammy dated. There was also comments on a Kate dating a Nate and Kiely dating a Nate. Was there a love triangle? But I'm wondering if the meds came from Nate C. I believe it was fentanyl-laced Percocets. But then again, fentanyl can be on anything. If you look at any of like Live PD or any of the cops, they wear gloves because one little finger touch can put them in an OD. But I'm curious as to, he's already incarcerated a couple days after she went missing for handing out dirty drugs. That's what I'm guessing, Mallory. So she can filter or say, hey, delete it. But what they don't realize is the FBI's good. They can backtrack anything and get it from the cloud. All they need is a simple little warrant. But I have a feeling to delay it into finding her, especially with her knee-jerk reaction on denying, being in total denial that Kiely was found. That is what gets me. I would have been in tears saying, thank you. What got me as well is she mentioned that she was her best friend when only was a drinking party friend. So yeah, I know when we're young, everybody's your best friend. Starts in kindergarten, maybe pre-K. Everybody's your best friend. Mallory, you're my best friend. Crazy Nurse, you're my best friend. I do love y'all, but you get where I'm going. The reason why I bring up being so bold about being a great friend or best friend, she does acknowledge Mags as being her best friend. Never mentioned Kate, which we've heard she was close friends with her as well, and made creme brulee. And for some reason I hear we planted flowers when I hear we made creme brulee. So now I hear Allie in my head when I think of that. But what got me was, so when the mom spoke about the sweater she got, she never mentioned a name. Have you ever noticed that? She never mentioned a name and always specifically said her best, dearest friend. And I honestly believe that she intentionally did that to not mention a name, even though she has the childhood friends. Not another toot. Not a toot. I love that. Yeah, we planted creme brulee. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, that's all I hear when I think of the creme brulee now. And then the reason why this is so big to me is because how many times did the sweater change? Yeah, how many times did her outfit change? How many times did somebody see her in something different within a 2-hour period? There was more than a couple, right? And then also, the black ink marker that was used for her typo shirt matches the sign for the drinks. It looks like the same handwriting and the same type of instrument used on the shirt that was in the interview of the news and on that brown sign. Going back to the Tiki Bar Venmo sign for all the drinks. Let me know if you disagree. Just wanted to put it through your mind. 2-3 times. What's 2-3 times? Now, then also the family of S said she was wet that night when returning home, speculatively. So they said, because they've kind of gone stone cold quiet, right? Somebody that was at the forefront now spoke at the funeral. Something tells me, and I'll get to that, but something tells me the way the mother's reaction, I'm questioning it. Especially when I myself am metaphysical, and most of you who have followed me, change of clothes. Yeah. It went from the black snap-on top, tank top. The belt never changed though, Mallory. The belt never changed. If you notice that, the belt is a key. The belt will be a key in this. I guarantee it. Mark my words. Her pants, green Dickies. Those looked like they could have been very well green Dickies in that picture. But there's possibly 2 times there. A gray sweatshirt. The black sweatshirt. The white sweatshirt. There's 4 times right there. But the one thing that has never changed out of the whole story, the belt. That's why I say, mark my words, the belt. Because that leads me into, also in my video that I snipped, she specifically mentioned the changing of the clothes. When they put up, I don't even want to mention his name or his channel right now, but we have to for purposes of reference. Now, when he specifically asked her if he recognized this outfit that she wore, she went kind of like, well, it's only official. Keep your eyes out on the Prosser Facebook page. That will be the only official, just in case there's a possibility of changing of clothes. Yeah. How would she know? How would she know that? That was August 11th. The changing of the clothes, they announced of sweatshirt, I believe was around the weekend of the August 15th, when they also notified for the jewelry, and they were taking back some of the searching. They were going to stream back some of the searching. Hi, people just listening. Glad Mallory can talk to me. Y'all are welcome to chat. I love interaction. And then, so please hit the like button. I'm working on getting this up. It's not easy for me to go live with my 2-year-old twins and them being on the spectrum. So sometimes when they can only scream, which can be often because they are nonverbal, I'm not always able to make videos right now like I would now that they're getting bigger and growing. Now, we could always go over the video. Let me see if I can find it. We could always go over the video that I made yesterday or last night because I did not sleep, y'all. I did not sleep. I was wide awake thinking about all of the red flag moments. And it definitely hit me. Because those were just the tip of the iceberg red flag moments that got me. Now, there's also my computer wants to take its sweet time. I apologize. But it definitely should, the LE definitely slacked on this one because they should be doing better on multiple, not just this one, but multiple cases, you know. Now, let me get past this part. And I'm going to go over the video I made last night in the middle of the night. I'm one exhausted mama because we had a doctor's follow-up appointment this morning. But I have to get this off my chest. So, here we go.
Explain a little bit about what you may have run into.
So my name is Nick. I work at an emergency roadside assistance program. I got a call up in Truckee, Boca, for a battery call. So pretty much that means that the vehicle can't start. So I went en route up there, found the vehicle. At the time, I didn't realize that this was a situation until later on. But
let me stop right there. You said you went to Boca.
Yes, sir.
So over near Boca Lake.
Yes, sir.
So not Prosser Lake, Prosser Creek Lake.
It's right by Prosser Creek.
Yeah, so just north. So you went to Boca.
At first, when I went there, I realized after my test that everything was working great on the vehicle. At that point in time, I did notice that she was very hesitant and very skeptical on everything that was going on. She was asking me really weird questions, in the sense of, how do you put on your seatbelt correctly? And and she asked me to show her on how to connect it to her actual belt. After that, she was stating on how she was there all night and she couldn't get her vehicle started due to the fact that now we both realized it was in neutral. She was wearing a sweatshirt, so it looked like she has been there for quite a while.
What color was the sweatshirt?
It was a gray sweatshirt.
Was it dark gray or light gray?
It was light gray. Yeah. Also, there was a guy there that was with her at that time being. He was wearing a black San Francisco.
Now, here we go. He tried everything in his power to not be seen. Is Sammy the girlfriend to who? I guarantee he attended the party. This is Nick. And I've also heard this was a possibility of dating Kiely. Not 100% positive, but I wonder if it's a little love triangle of jealousy. Let's continue. But he tried everything. If you notice, he tried everything to not be seen, right?
Flat top, ball
And he
cap
has
facing forwards.
the hat.
Brown hair that's sticking out just a little bit on the sides. It was kind of like they were both.
And his brown hair is a lot shorter than Jagger's, and it is sticking out on the side, right, y'all?
Both kind of at unease is what it looks like for me. Like as if either they had a crazy night or a crazy day, or there's something going on I couldn't know. And at the time,
No, he has somebody, his significant other is in the healthcare. Now, when you look at these two, there he is. Is that the same guy to you guys? Without a hat? Is that him? He stares her down the whole time. If you watch this video, she looks at her, but concentrate on the energy, okay? Just concentrate on the energy.
at the time, I didn't realize what was going on. But other than that, he was, a thinner built guy is the best way I could put it, with a bro tank, and it was a white bro tank. He had some freckles on it.
And like I wrote here, it makes me think of the uncomfortable vibe just watching it. I feel it, but I'm an empath. I'm a medium. But just looking at the energy of her constantly looking and checking and him giving her a dead stare, it's almost like a don't F up. She's walking on eggshells. That's just my opinion. But the energy, when you look at the body language and the eyes and the face, you can definitely tell this makes you think of the TTD's description. What do y'all think?
On his face, like, or maybe it was like acne or whatnot, but it was on both sides of his face. He was also a little bit like shorter than me, so straight to voicemail. Yeah.
Do you know if she had a phone on her at the time?
She did state that her phone was dead.
Take note, phone's dead. There's the charger on the bottom of the lake after the car was retrieved. And then also, that looks like the cell phone. Looks like the cell phone. The case, right here, cracked screen, and the charger.
Dead. And so she used whoever this was, she used his phone. So that's how she did get in contact.
And what was, you mentioned like she was asking funny questions.
There's the outfit. Remember, the belt never changed any of the storylines. This has changed, not the belt. And I'm kind of always speculated or questioned what is on her arm. Did she actually have an Apple Watch?
Funny questions and acting weird.
Granted, I at the time I didn't realize again. That
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the towing industry my whole life, so you see a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of weird stuff, and it's actually pretty normal.
Yeah.
You know, so I can see why at the time it's just a normal call.
She kept on going over that, like, how do you like, secure your seat?
That's a dead-on stare. How do you feel about that? Covering his face, as in all the other pictures, except for the one where he's covering his body, but he has his glasses, almost like incognito mode, like YouTube has that little guy, the glasses and the hat.
Secure your seatbelt like firmly and like do it correctly, and that's
when she was asking this, was the guy that she was with right there too?
on the opposite side of the car.
Good possibility, but being that she had an iPhone, I was curious if she did have an Apple Watch.
So he could hear the conversation as well?
Every single time the guy would come over to us, she would go on to the other side, and it was just like a back and forth, like a tag team. Better to say, like one person would come over, she wouldn't stay near him, and then it would go vice versa. Or if we were at the front of the car.
What do y'all think? Do they look the same? I've got more information if you have not seen this.
Going about the battery and talking about the battery, he was always on one side, she was on the other. They were never close to each other.
She was uncomfortable. Yeah. Because that's.
Now, listen to Nick's wording. She seemed kind of hungover or uncomfortable, distressed, which reference back to the energy between the two of them, you can always look at Zav Girl's video that she did referencing these two items. But she is on the struggle bus to not nodding out. And if you listen to Nick, he said either she was hungover, partied too hard, or she might be under the influence of something. If I'm wrong.
That screams awkwardness and someone being uncomfortable. And when in that scenario, if he was there with her, he should have been right next to her. If not,
to be honest, if you look at the rest of the body language, they're all intently looking. And you see this person side-eyeing over here. This person is sus, unless she's eyeballing the phone. But I definitely believe her eyes are on her. But look at her. She's struggling. If it was my friend, hell no. I'd be wide awake. I'd be sitting straight up a tent.
if not dealing with you the entire
Tentative. I'm sorry.
time, and not her. Did she seem high or intoxicated or?
I thought that maybe she was either hungover or just had a really rough day. She looked distressed.
So to let people know what to look out for, if a changed shirt or something. So
Here we go. Outfit cue.
yeah, that has not been confirmed.
Yesterday, we put out an updated photo on a sweatshirt that Kiely was seen wearing at the party Friday evening. Just to provide some clarification on that, we did receive video evidence showing Kiely at the party wearing the white sweatshirt you see to my left. To clear up any confusion, that same day, Kiely was loaned that black sweatshirt you see above the first sweatshirt. And we never detailed or said that she was wearing the black sweatshirt. We believe that Kiely.
There I am, just for shits and giggles, I guess, posting the news article of when they did reference she wore that. Why would they have it up there then?
Kiely was in possession of the black sweatshirt at some point during that evening, but we have received video evidence showing Kiely wearing the black sweatshirt, and she was seen at the party. I'm sorry, the white sweatshirt, excuse me. So I just wanted to clarify that portion.
I did not want her to be driving me home because I know about drunk drivers and all that. And so
They also teach you buddy system, and they typically make you sign a contract that you'll always honor it.
I figured she would be staying there or she would find a ride home because she's a smart girl. She's smart enough to know she's smart. And so
just because somebody's smart does not mean that there's predators around or vulnerability. I cannot say it with my numb lip. I apologize, y'all, but you know what I'm saying.
then I found her as I was leaving the party. I was making sure to find her, to tell her that I had another ride home and that I loved her and I would say bye and for her to have fun at the party. That's another one that got me, is weren't they tied to the hip? But then she had to find her and tell her she found another ride home. If I reference it right, it was like within 5 minutes of going and charging the phone at the car. Party, and then when I left the party, we were pretty much on 89 with my ride, and she called me as I was in the car in the passenger seat, and she was like, "Hey, where are you? Do you still need a ride home?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay. Like, I'm in the car right now. I'm getting driven home now." But Kiely did not have a set ride home, and I was supposed to be there. They were invited there because it was supposed to be.
Now, that awkward pause is she was actually looking at the pinned question. I've heard some other panels question and speculate it because they cropped out her face. How old is Kiely, and did she have a boyfriend? This is where the triangle comes up for my red flag.
supposed to be like saying goodbye to your favorite team before everybody starts going off to college. Soon enough, your people are gonna just going around the party. We were drinking the same drinks,
She totally stumbles all over herself in this. Am I wrong? Or do you disagree? Or do you agree? Let me know.
being teenagers, throwing glow sticks into the party, and it started to grow really big. I would say around 10 to 10:30. It just blew up. Like, it started to get to the point where I was getting overwhelmed, and I'm a very social person. I've been to a lot of these parties. I've never been overwhelmed. I've actually been
John Blaze, good for you. Keep it squirting.
underwhelmed, but at this party, it was very large. Like, it was bigger than any party we've had in Truckee all year, and for a lot of years past, there were people from what we think Sacramento, San Francisco. I remember talking to somebody who was from San Francisco, Reno, Folsom, areas that were just way out of reach from it, and it was really overwhelming and weird to see, but I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, oh, kids are around here, they have vacation.
Last night, her reference to Reno, it hit me. The news article that just came out stating Jagger was at the party. I'm waiting for more validation on that. That's why I put question mark. John Blaze, seriously, I hope you feel better. Don't squirt too much or shart your pants.
Vacation homes up here, they're just coming to party because why not? So then Kiely and I were going around taking shots,
And John Blaze, if you want, I can always refer you to a great person that deals well, very well with shit situations.
and just drinking. We were trading drinks with each other. We were sharing drinks with each other. We would go back to her car to get some alcohol sometimes, and then we went to her car.
Now, I got too distracted by John's shit. His diarrhea. Yeah, I feel like there was a love triangle. But here is where I caught it last night. Out of all these times I watched it, of her stating swapping drinks. Not sharing. She said sharing, but swapping is the key word I honed into last night.
Around taking shots and just drinking. We were trading drinks with each other. We were sharing drinks with each other. We would go back to her car to get some alcohol sometimes, and then we went to her car to charge her phone, and we were talking about just random stuff, and then it's kind of hard to remember. And so, or no, we were talking about
Party? Is that what she was wearing?
yeah, so that top is exactly what I saw her in. If you can see on her left side, on her hip, you can see some skin. She was wearing a black bodysuit. I remember because we went to the bathroom together, we in the woods together a couple of times, and so that's her shirt right there. The pants
And see, the belt never changed. Everything else, the belt.
were different that she wore to the party. She was wearing green Dickies pants, but that belt is definitely what she's wearing too. I remember watching her have to take it off when we were using the restroom together. We were out using the outdoor restroom, like popping squat, basically. So, yeah.
That was just released from the.
She's like, because I didn't want to ride home with her. Like, almost like she's like, well, I don't know why she called me back. Like, I told her I had to ride home. It's almost like there was some kind of hostility there. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sensing it big time on this one. Yeah, watch when she says, because I didn't want to drive home with her. Like, you didn't want to drive home with her for some reason. Why? Because there was some kind of fight? I mean, and then she goes on to say that she calls her back, and it's like almost like she's like mad, like she attitude, man. It's coming.
And that's also, I believe, the jealousy factor too. And being in the forefront.
Through like crazy. All right, I'll shut up and keep you guys watching.
I was the last person to see her and talk to her, actually. She called me at 12:36 in the morning.
Mal, let me tell you, I've contemplated that too.
asked me if I still needed a ride home from the party, even though about 10 minutes before that
And is it wrong? And I'll say it again. I get Amber Heard vibes. Am I the only one? Just putting that little nugget out there for anybody that wants to digest that.
I told her, like, I'm leaving. I already have another ride because I didn't want to drive home with her. And so I had told her that, but she still ended up calling me at 12:36 asking if I needed a ride, and she sounded just really drunk, I guess.
Okay, so let me know what you guys think in the comments about that.
12:36. 3 minutes after the phone went cold.
About what you think. And
Yeah.
Do you know if she had a phone on her at the time?
She did state that her phone was dead,
Her phone
and
was
so
dead.
she used whatever guy, whoever this was, she used his phone. So that's how she did get in contact.
And what was you mentioned? Like she was asking funny questions.
Let's take a nice look at that guy. See where I get the incognito on YouTube? When he was the third party that was not mentioned, that went with Jagger and Kate to Reno, sitting in the truck, the tension you can feel between them, like he's watching her every move. There they are, headed to Reno with the news station. He tried to stay out of the limelight. Now let me point this out. Everybody knows lovely Amnesia, someone I look up to. She's a supermod for many. She ran this man's plates. Those plates right there. And guess what she found? The car goes back to nobody. Major props to Anissa for kicking ass on this super sleuth armchair find. There you go, y'all. That was the VIN attached to the plate. Did not find any results. She tried it multiple times, and it did not come back to anybody. Or Anissa. Did I say Anissa? I apologize. Anissa. There they are in front of the car. It's blown up a little bit bigger just so you can see it as they get ready to go search Reno. Nope, the plates were not registered to anybody. Came back as nobody. Now, let's hit this one last time to validate and go over why I made my video in the middle of the night, pointing out the belt Kiely wore when interviewed, and it relating to, in reference, in my opinion, Nick, the TTD, roadside assistance guy, whatever you want to call him. I'd make him called RAG instead of TTD. I think TTD fits better. But that's the only item remembered to stay on Kiely. And that is one of the bullet points Nick posted when attaching to the belt. The phone call 3 minutes after the phone going cold. Drinking out of the same containers and ingesting the same things. But also caught herself saying swapping, trading drinks. Trading drinks? How do you know she drank out of it first? Or last? The last person that verbally said had any type of contact, physical and phone. Denying of Kiely being found in Prosser. Knee-jerk reaction posting it, diarrhea of the mouth, publicly on social media. Being the forefront of the search and interviews. Wanting all the information sent to her first, prior to LE and Jagger, so they could filter what is going in. That's a big one. Venmo was for drinks and towards the fight of bets. There was bets towards the fights. And that this year, boastfully this year, there was no argument as to opposed of all the others that had banter of who won the fight every year. Wanting to control the narrative and information that is going out and coming in. Possibly the ex of Nate C, but now I'm fully questioning if it's the other Nate. And I'm wondering if that's from the word on the YouTube streets that Kiely had something going on with him and could have been just a toxic love triangle, because if looks could kill, just go back on the video of the truck. Makes me think of the energy of them walking around the truck with Nick. If you can envision that. Mentioning wanting to fight somebody who has bullied her. Here comes the speculation of a love triangle. Who are the players? Gotta add in Nate. Which one? Because as of right now, I believe Nate C could have just provided it and not been in a relationship. Instead, it's the one in the videos that keeps his eyes dead cold on her. She mentions she's her best friend when she was only a drinking social friend. So my red flag was when the mom speaks about her best, dearest friend, she always referenced it just that on the sweater and not an actual name. I feel like they have put many things out there to make somebody trip up. Also, having the same black ink marker, hell, it could have been paint, on the bar, on the sign for the drinks, in the fight, for the Venmo, in the handwriting. It all matches the shirt for those search parties. I want to get more confirmation on this, but there is a lot of talk that she was not dry coming home. And you saw it just now. How would she know? To keep your eyes peeled in case there's changing of the clothes or any of the items. And that's just the top of my list. What do you guys think? Yeah. Yeah, Mallory. They were betting on a winner. And this year there was no contention on who won. And barely an acquaintance, a social acquaintance, but not her close friend. And that hit me every time her mom said her dearest friend and not mentioning a name. That got me. Now, my next live will be addressing her mother. And I hope you all have a beautiful day. I got to get back to my fam. And if you're catching this on the replay, let me know what your thoughts are. The red flag Sammy and part 1. Let me know. And thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a blessed and beautiful day. Adios.